Attached to this video, you find a new project, and this is now not a Node.js project. Instead, this is now a React.js project. React.js is a front-end JavaScript framework. It runs in the browser, and it allows you to create such a single-page application, which I mentioned in the last course module. You can simply download the attached project, extract it into a new folder, and then navigate into that folder in a terminal, or simply open that folder in an IDE like Visual Studio Code in a new window. And then inside of that extracted project, run npm install to install all the dependencies of that project. Now, I mentioned that this is not a Node.js project. Why do we need to run npm install then? Because it's pretty common that we manage any dependencies in JavaScript projects, even for browser-side projects, with npm, with the Node package manager. The packages I'm installing here are only packages that are getting used in the browser, though. There are no Node Express or anything like that packages beneath them. Indeed, if you have a look at the package.json file, you'll only find React-related packages here, which do run in the browser. So don't be confused by the fact that we're using npm. These packages here still only run in the browser, and we're just using npm to install these packages. Because in modern front-end development, you have very complex setups, you have very complex package dependencies, and using a package manager like npm can speed that up. Now, once you ran all of that, you can run npm start to start a development server, which is now actually a Node.js server serving your application, but it's not related to the Node server we will build. It's not related to our backend. This is only a dummy development server, which simply serves the built version of our front-end application. So it serves a simple HTML file, which you can actually see in the public folder, this one, which does not have a lot of content, which is what I mentioned earlier, or in the last module actually, that single-page applications have very trivial HTML files. But we have some hooks here, which are used by the React application, which is built in the source folder. There is the source code, and that will be mounted onto these hooks here automatically in the browser, which leads to an application like this. You'll see an error by default when you first start this up. We'll fix the error throughout the module. And there you will see this interface. And this interface is now fully rendered through React.js. If you inspect the source code, so if you view the page source, you will find the HTML page I just showed you with these hooks, and then a couple of script imports at the bottom. And if you inspect the DOM, though, you will see way more HTML elements. And these are all rendered dynamically by React, so by that browser-side JavaScript framework. And if you want to learn more about React, I got a whole course on that, of course, so check that out. We'll not write React code here. Almost all the code we'll work with is already prepared by me. We'll just have to tweak some things as we create our REST API. But this is the front that we'll use together with our REST API. And the idea, of course, is that you get a feeling for how frontend and backend, so the React app and the REST API, are decoupled and can still work together now. So this is the project we'll work with. It's a very simple social network blog messaging-like application. We can have our user status, which we can update here. We can create new posts here. We can later also edit and delete posts. And we'll later also add authentication. Right now, nothing is working because I got no backend attached. This is also the reason why we have an error message right at the start. But we will get rid of that throughout this module, of course. So this is the front end. And this is now the front end I want to connect to my backend. So let's now see which kind of RESTful API endpoints this front end could need before we then start implementing them step by step.